Hi, I'm Brandon Grant, Sales and Marketing Director here at QuoteWerks. In this video, we're going to demonstrate how to use the Ingram Micro quote importer to search for existing Ingram Micro quotes and import them into QuoteWerks, or select from any quote created within the last 45 days from your Ingram Micro rep. In order to use this functionality, you will need to be on version 5.5, build 5 or higher of QuoteWerks. You'll also need to have an active account with Ingram Micro. And finally, you'll need to make sure you have set up the integration before proceeding. If you have not yet set up the integration, please reference the QuoteWerks help file on setting up your account to use this functionality before continuing with this video. Okay, let's get started. If you set up the integration with the Ingram Micro Quote Importer, you should see the Ingram Micro icon on your grid toolbar. Go ahead and click on that to open up the Ingram Micro Quote Importer. This will open up the Ingram Micro Quote Importer window, and you'll see I have a couple options. The first is to import a quote based on the quote number. So if you know your Ingram Micro quote number, go ahead and type it in here. So I'll go ahead and add one in here, and then we'll click on the magnifying glass, and this will search for that specific quote number in Ingram Micro. Once you've located the quote, simply click on the import button in the bottom right of the window to import this quote directly into QuoteWerks. And just like that, this item has been added to my document in QuoteWerks. You can see all the document information has been imported. So we have our quantity, our description, our cost, our price modifier is set using our default in QuoteWerks to mark up the unit price. The unit list is set, manufacturer, part number, the vendor, all that information is pulled in. So that's a really easy way to pull in a quote from Ingram Micro directly into QuoteWerks. Now if we go back into the importer, so another way you can pull in quotes from Ingram Micro is by clicking on this Request Quotes from Ingram Micro button. This will load any quote that's been created for your company within the last 45 days. So if we click on this button here, on the left-hand side, we'll see a full list of all my quotes that have been created for my company in the last 45 days. To load the content of the quote, simply select one. So if we click on one of these test quotes here, so we'll select this one. This will load the details and the content of the quote. So we'll actually be able to see all the information and all the line items that make up this quote. And the same thing as if you were searching by the quote number, simply click Import. And that'll add all that line item information directly into QuoteWerks. So now that all your line items are in your QuoteWerks document, you're free to make any changes and adjustments as necessary. One of the really great features about using this integration is that since you've imported this item directly from Ingram Micro, we can now cross-reference it with utilized update information such as like the product picture or the customer-friendly description. So if we select one of our items here and we click on our picture icon, we'll see that there's been no image associated with this item. So what we can do is highlight it and then click on Refresh Item with Utilized Details, and QuoteWerks will actually go out and load it with information from Utilize, such as a more customer-friendly description, the manufacturer if it's available, and a product picture. So if we click on the picture icon again, we'll actually see that the picture has now been added to the document. And you can do that with any of the other items in the quote. So if I wanted to click Control A, I could then click on this icon here, and this will actually go out to Utilize and load all of the product pictures available for any of the items found on this document. So that's one way to get the content from Utilize. Additionally, we can also use the Utilize panel. So if we come in here and we select one of our items, and then we click on our Utilize panel button, this will actually load this item's information from Utilize as well. So if I want to cross-reference it with one of the other distributors that I've set up, if I want to check the list pricing from CDW, Amazon, or Dell, I can do that here as well. It's also really great because I can actually go through and check the spec sheet. So if you wanted to include more technical information about this particular item for your customer that you're building this quote for, we can do that here. So I can actually attach this as a PDF on my Links tab. And you can repeat this step as necessary for your other items. So if I wanted to click on my next item here, I could do that. And same thing, I could cross-reference it with my distributors. I get pricing from CDW, Amazon, or Dell, attach my spec sheet, get that product picture information, and update this particular item. And then once I'm done, I can simply toggle this on and off. So now that I have all my items in my document and they've been updated, I can then make some changes. So I have some items here that have $0 prices. So we're not actually gonna sell those. So I'm gonna go ahead and sort by those $0 items, and I'm just gonna remove them from the quote since we don't need them. And then we'll go ahead and we'll add a section header just to organize my document for my customer. And we'll add one more in here. And then we'll go ahead and we'll save our document. And then we're ready to send it to our customer. So we'll select our layout here and we'll preview this before we send it out. So we can see here in our document, any item that we had pulled in from our Ingram Micro quote that we updated with Utilize, it pulled in the product pictures for those particular items and totaled it out for us as well. So we're ready to send that out either via email or Quote Valet. So it's that easy to use the Ingram Micro quote importer to import quotes from Ingram Micro directly into QuoteWerks, update it with Utilize, and then send it out to your customers. For more information, or if you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call, send us an email, or you can check out the instructions in the QuoteWerks help file as well. Thanks for watching.